First job of the president is to protect America. Our next president must be prepared to lead. I know Jeb. I know his good heart and his strong backbone. Jeb will unite our country. He knows how to bring the world together against terror, and he knows when tough measures must be taken. Experience and judgment count in the Oval Office. Jeb Bush is a leader who will keep our country safe.
Well, that was a new ad set to begin running for Jeb Bush tomorrow in South Carolina. It was put out by his political action committee. It is part of a big push the Bush team is now making ahead of New Hampshire and the South Carolina primaries. Joining me now from New Hampshire, Republican presidential candidate and former Florida Governor Jeb Bush. Governor, thank you so much for being here with us. So we appreciate it because I know you're going to take questions from our panel too. Let me start with that ad. I know you don't coordinate with the Super PAC, but you must have at least been able to say okay to your brother, like if you want to get out there. Why now?
Well, I didn't know that he was doing that. To be honest with you, we are righteous in making sure that there's no coordination. But I knew that I know he's going to campaign for me in South Carolina, for which I'm grateful. I love my brother, and a lot of Republicans do as well. Tonight, my mom campaigned with me in New Hampshire. I love her. I love my dad. I also have a proven record as governor of the state of Florida that disrupted the old order and brought about change, applying conservative principles. And that's the story I tell here, and it's garnering quite a bit of support here in New Hampshire, where people really force the candidates to have full views. They're not scripted. They don't let you get away with scripted kind of responses. Is that a reference to Senator Rubio? Because that's the hit that Chris Christie's been laying on him. No, it isn't, although I would say that my record of accomplishment of cutting taxes $19 billion, reducing the government workforce by 13,000, being one of 2 states to go to AAA bond rating, leading the nation in job growth 7 out of 8 years, all of that is a record of accomplishment. Dealing with 8 hurricanes and 4 tropical storms in 16 months, that record compares favorably to anybody on the stage, but particularly the senators who are ambitious and they're talented and they can give a great speech, but there's nothing in their record that would suggest they can make a tough decision. And we now are in the 8th year of a president that is quite similar, charismatic beyond belief, great speaker, but nothing in his past would suggest that he could have made a big decision, and he's not. Is there any coordination, we asked Governor Christie this earlier on Fox News, between your team and his to go after Rubio? No, not at all. But look, the 3 governors and remaining governors in the race do have one thing in common. We've had to make tough decisions. We've had to balance budgets. We've had to challenge the orthodoxy and the status quo. And in my case, I'm proud of that record in Florida. And that's the story I tell. It's a little bit harder when you struggle to even answer the question, what have been your accomplishments? For example, Senator Rubio suggested that he led the charge to increase sanctions for Hezbollah, and it passed without him even being there, and he wasn't a sponsor of it. It's hard to be able to say you've accomplished things when there's nothing going on in Washington, D.C. Now, there is an ad that your team put out, not your Super PAC, but the Jeb Bush for President team put out, that goes hard after Donald Trump. And it opens up with a little clip of yours truly. I'm going to show that part of your ad, and then I'm going to show what actually happened on the Kelly file. Watch this.
Saying this when seeing Carly Fiorina on TV. Look at that face. Would anyone vote for that? Can you imagine that, the face of our next president?
Donald Trump has a woman problem. Okay, now watch. Here's what actually happened on the Kelly file.
I think the real story is going to come from the lower tiers here to see who emerges.
What do you make of what we've seen now, what we just discussed about Carly Fiorina and the headlines today suggesting Donald Trump has a woman problem? So, see, I was attributing that to newspapers, sir. You put it in my own mouth, which, that's objection.
Hey, tell you what, if you don't think that Donald Trump has disparaged women, has disparaged Hispanics, has insulted the disabled, has insulted John McCain for being captured and a loser because he was a POW, then you've missed the last year, Megan. Of course he's done this. And here's the deal. You can't insult your way to the presidency. It may garner people's attention. He's a great entertainer. But the simple fact is, we need a president that will unite our country around common purposes. And insulting people is not the way to do it. And I'm sick of it. So frankly, I don't know what the political implications of this are, but I believe we need to unite around a set of common purposes to fix the problems in Washington. And that kind of attitude isn't going to help.
All right, let me get some of the audience questions in. David Marcus, where are you? Okay, David Marcus has a question for you, sir. Do you want me to read it or do you remember it?
Yeah, you can read it.
Okay, David's question is, do you have an optimistic approach to tackling the country's problems that can succeed with voters in what has so far been an election defined by anger?
Yeah, in fact, for me to win, people are going to have to believe that our future is brighter than what we have today. If it's all about anger, then I'm not going to be the candidate that wins, because I believe we're on the verge of greatness, but we've got to fix how we tax and fix our regulatory system. And you can go to jeb2016.com and get the most comprehensive plans as it relates to the student loan program, our entitlement challenges, how to balance the budget. I believe in policy. I believe ideas have consequences, and conservative principles should be hopeful and optimistic. We should draw people towards our cause rather than be reactive and constantly try to divide us.
Okay, Rocco, quickly. You have a question for the governor. Sorry, this is Rocco Limitone.
Governor.
Hey, Rocco.
You're very qualified to be the President of the United States.
Thanks,
what's
Rocco.
been going on now in the country, though? The country's divided. People don't feel good about America anymore. We're divided by race. We're divided by people that work hard and make a living. The rest of the country hates them, doesn't want them to work hard. They're trying to pull them down. If you're the president, how do you plan to bring back that good feeling of America, help solve this racial division that's tearing the country apart, and help stop the war between the haves and the have-nots?
I think the rhetoric that the president uses is really important. I think it's important to be respectful of the office, and it's also important to have language that draws people towards a common cause. We have a president who's gifted, but he pushes people down that disagree with him. I assume that people that disagree with me don't have bad intentions. They just might be wrong, and it's my duty to try to persuade them to join my cause. That's what governors get to do. They get to lead. They create a strategy. They forge consensus. They move their states forward. The successful ones do that. And I had a chance to do that, and I think that skill of leadership is important.
Governor,
right now we don't have it.
I have got to get John Hartley in, because he might be your #1 fan. He's always on our focus groups, and he even more than Barbara Bush today, I think. He really wants to ask you a question. This is John Hartley. Go ahead, John.
Hi, Governor. Next month marks the 240th anniversary of the Wealth of Nations publication. Do you believe that free market capitalism is under attack from the likes of politicians like Bernie Sanders, and what would you do to defend it?
And with apologies, you have 60 seconds to answer that, Governor. Go.
Absolutely, it's under attack. It's under attack by institutions of higher learning. It's under attack by our education system. It's certainly under attack by socialists and progressive liberals. I believe that free market economics has created more prosperity, more benefits than any government program ever created. And the duty of the next president is to create less friction rather than more complication. Simplify the tax code so we don't pick winners and losers. And simplify the regulatory system and push power away from Washington, D.C., starting with Obamacare. These are the things we need to do to let freedom ring again. Our system is based on individual liberty, and right now that is under attack across the board, culturally, politically, economically. And the next president better respect the Constitution and promote free market capitalism, not crony capitalism, but free market capitalism, so that more people can rise up again.
Governor Bush, well done. See, all those debates, he knows how to nail it in 60 seconds or less. Thank you so much, sir.
55.4 seconds.
Nicely done. We appreciate you being here. All the best to you.
Thank you.
And thank you as well.